Sometimes I think about my childhood and how fucking awesome everything was back then. The summers were hotter, they were longer, and because kids growing up in the 80s and 90s got to live on a diet of whatever they wanted, I got to eat a diet of fish fingers and custard, which meant the food was better too. Not at the same time, not a savage. And every single book, video game, movie and TV show was unequivocally better as well. And I know what you're thinking. You're remembering it wrong, douchebag. I'm not. They're all awesome. And because all the media from my childhood was awesome, I'm really reluctant to go back and re-experience it as an adult because I want to preserve those happy memories I've got. So I don't even go back and rewatch things that have been rebooted or remade. Those Michael Bay Transformers and Turtles movies. I like to pretend they don't exist. So today I'm going to be re-experiencing something from my youth, and I'm going to make you do it with me. The Outer Limits was a 90s reboot of science fiction horror anthology series from the 1960s. Similar to The Twilight Zone, but instead of focusing on the supernatural, it focused mainly on technology and science to demonstrate the horrors they could produce. The episodes were mostly self-contained and usually contained a twist or a moral lesson at the end. It's like Black Mirror, but cheap and shit, but also brilliant. Well, this is definitely going to be every bit as good as I remember it being. Okay, this was a bad idea, it's horrible. While the series was clearly low budget and filled with cheesy theatrical performances, it did also adapt a lot of short stories and novellas from pretty famous authors, like Harlan Ellison, Larry Niven, Richard Matheson, Stephen King, and George R.R. fucking Martin? So every now and then the episodes were actually pretty well written. There were 7 seasons of this low budget cheese, and with so many episodes to choose from, it was hard to pick one to explore. But I got just the one. An episode called Under the Bed, which scared the skid marks right off my 13-year-old underpants. Alright, let's do this. So the episode opens with some kids playing shadow puppets in their bedroom before being told by mum to get some sleep. Meanwhile, outside the house... Is it a monster? Is it the cameraman from Blair Witch Project with a red filter over the lens? I know what it is. Let's fix it.
Julian, did you take Bear Bear again? No, I don't want Bear Bear.
See? Your cuddly friend was there the whole time. Nothing to worry about.
Andrew. Come and get me.
Julian, look! Bear Bear talk. Yeah, right.
I got stuck. Come and get me.
I can't get you way back there.
Please. I'm scared to be alone.
Don't go closer, you goddamn lunatic! That's definitely not a friendly voice. Teddies don't whisper to you in the night.
Little more.
I can't reach you. Will y'all be quiet? Remember what Mommy said?
Get the fuck out! This kid's acting is so real in this scene that I genuinely think she believed there was a real monster under that bed. I'll wager money she was irreparably scarred after filming this. Holy fuck, that was a creepy and intense opening. I don't think 13-year-old me should have been watching this. So with the kid taken by one of those arms that was touching up Sigourney Weaver in that chair in Ghostbusters, the show's opening credits begin. So I think we can all agree that the opening hook was pretty awesome. Not sure I can say the same for all of the credits though. There's a lot to like. It's got some pretty unnerving imagery, a superb creepy voiceover guy, and the music is genuinely pretty unsettling.
There is nothing wrong with your television. Do not attempt to adjust the picture.
It's all good, right up until this part. Could this look more 90s if it tried? I know it's the 90s and the birth of CGI, but this is so shitty it looks like a rejected scene from The Lawnmower Man. So the episode continues with the cops being called to investigate.
Strange cars, no footprints. I've concentrated the search in the immediate area, but so far we've come up with snake eyes.
Wait, what? This poor family just had their child kidnapped by what looked like the arm of Donkey Kong hiding under the bed, and this cop is strolling around using casual gambling lingo like they're looking for a missing lottery ticket? You could at least try to fake some empathy, you tight bastard.
You can call me Caitlin.
I know exactly how you feel. Look, I know, it's a pretty cheaply produced show, and it probably doesn't look all that scary now, but in my graphic novel and cheese nightmare-fueled teenage years, this fucked me up. This was pre-Toy Story, remember? Back then, the only movies which featured toys coming to life was this. I think this is probably where the global fear of clowns came from too. So we're then introduced to the child psychologist assisting the investigation who tries to loosen the kid up a bit.
Hi. Business or pleasure?
Business or pleasure? Should a cop really be making jokes like that in earshot of a traumatized family? These two seem to be pretty close. Is he slipping into the beef injection? Is this really professional to be flirting right in front of a grieving mother and a traumatized 6-year-old? Surely a real psychologist would understand the value of not looking like he doesn't give a shit. This is where the show brings up the theme of this being a rescue mission to save the kid and live happily ever after. I'm sure it's all going to work out fine, right? When it's revealed that the dad has an airtight alibi, pretend psychologist and definitely not a child abductor guy is a tad frustrated. Look at the devastation on his face now that he's realised that the patsy that he fingered for the crime has got an airtight alibi and he's going to have to find some other chump to go down for his crime, for the crime.
That's what this is, huh?
It's what it always is. A father with a grudge, or a career criminal, or somebody becoming a career criminal.
Doesn't that describe all crime? You're either a criminal at the beginning of your career or you're a criminal at the end of your career, but you're a criminal nonetheless. Is she really a cop?
John.
Hold on a second. Why are they meeting the cop's mum? Is she a suspect?
John.
Oh, I get it now. They're fucking. Hey, I was right. Sure feels good to be me. So, creepy inappropriate psychologist guy tries to get the kid to open up by using dolls to tell the story. My suspicion level is immediately raised when he does this.
No, Daddy.
No, Daddy. Okay. Is it Daddy? Do you want Daddy?
No, Daddy.
Despite being told more than once that Daddy didn't do it, he still keeps insisting it is Daddy. There's a reason that police and psychologists are told to ask open and unleading questions. It's because you can implant false memories. I'm starting to think this guy stole her brother. He sure is desperate to pin the dad for it.
Oh, he must have been one scary son of a bitch. What about Gary Rosman? And we have a Daddy? Is it Daddy? Do you want Daddy?
During the local search for the boy, which for some inexplicable reason is being conducted days after he was kidnapped, psychologist guy reveals that he grew up in this area and has intricate knowledge of the surroundings, including an old abandoned mine. So after more unsuccessful attempts to implant the idea that the dad did it, the cop asks him to try hypnotherapy to get the truth.
Why not hypnosis?
No. Adults have a tough time with regressive hypnosis. I could lose ground with Jillian. There's also some fair-sized ethical questions. Just relax. I need you to keep watching my hand.
Yeah. Fuck ethics. Nothing to see here. Move along. Wow. He can just wave his hand in front of her face a couple of times and she falls under hypnosis? Who the fuck is this guy? Professor X? I guess ASMR does work.
Makes a shadow for Jillian.
And what does Jillian do?
She laughs.
Is she recounting her memories in third person? Like, if somebody hypnotizes you and asks you questions about your memories, you describe them like you're playing it like a video game, like you're sat there on Resident fucking Evil? Despite being given a piece of used bog roll as a script, the kid turns another performance which is light years ahead of everyone else. Creepy fake psychologist guy reveals his tragic backstory. that his brother went missing years ago in a town where children go missing all the time. The same town that the kid in this episode went missing from. Mum takes the kid home again for some R&R and they fall asleep without locking any of the ground floor windows. Nope, I don't see any oversights here.
Come over here, Jillian. Come on. Andrew?
Oh hey, your brother came back.
Help me, Jillian. Help me get in. Help me or I'll fall.
You fucking come on the second floor, the window stays closed.
Hey,
You got something?
blood.
I'm saying is that no one I know, including Betty Boop, talks at 11 kilohertz.
Nothing makes a show seem more realistic than bad dubbing.
Ming, what do you got on the blood samples?
All I'm gonna say is that somewhere along the line, it turned into sand.
The blood turned to sand and you have this blasé reaction?
Turned into sand.
That blood is actually proving the medieval and totally bullshit practice of alchemy is real and your reaction is...
Could it be a liquid like blood?
Sure, it's possible that some animal could have a carbon in its bloodstream that could polymerize if exposed to air or UV rays.
It's possible? An animal could have blood that turns to fucking sand? Where did you get your degree? I think you should ask for a refund.
Let's search all missing children 1800 to present.
I love how shows and movies in the mid-90s just didn't understand computers at all. They treated them as if they were magic and could do anything. This dude just types index region and expects it to work? You didn't specify what fucking region. Is the computer just supposed to read your mind? Is this computer Cerebro from X-Men? Hey, computer, can you find me that thing from that place that time? Great, that's exactly what I was looking for. Isn't technology wonderful?
Look at this. I don't know if this is real, but something's been scaring kids for hundreds of years.
You don't know if this is real? It's a picture of a monster in a kid's pop-up storybook. Should you really be investigating this case? And look at the look on her face.
Culture seems to have one fairy tale about a creature who lives in the forests, under beds, in caves.
She's been fucking a delusional moron every night for months, and just now she's realized it.
Something's been scaring kids for hundreds of years.
Something's been scaring kids for hundreds of years? Yeah. Parents telling scary ass stories to control them instead of raising them properly. So let's recap here, because I think I figured out what the twist is for this episode. This guy, who may be a police psychologist or who may not be, who has the tragic backstory of having a brother who went missing when they were kids in a small town where kids went missing all the time, the same small town where the kid in this episode went missing, spends the entire time desperately trying to convince everyone that the dad did it. When the dad's revealed to have an airtight alibi, his desperation hits a new high, and he tries to pin the crime on a mythological creature. I'm calling it. That guy's part of a creepy child abduction ring that wears rubber monster suits to kidnap kids in the night. You heard it here first. Man, trolls are really lousy night vision. It's actually worse than human night vision. At least the Terminator's night vision actually made him see in the fucking dark.
I see everything.
Troll vision might suck, but it's still better than this lady's vision. He stood right in front of you! How the fuck can you not see him? Oh, it can turn invisible. That's why she couldn't see it. Let's egg on my face. I really regret doing this joke now. So if it could just smash windows and take what it wanted, what was all the bullshit about mimicking her brother and asking her to open the window for him? So after taking the kid to a local mine, presumably to eat her for being a far better actor than all of her adult co-stars, psychologist guy follows and attempts to rescue the girl from the old abandoned mine shaft, which the child abduction ring calls home base. The cop finally catches up with the abductor and...
Oh my god, did you find Jillian?
Oh shit, I was right! And I called it early too! I am a genius. Ah shit, that's the second time I got egg on my face. No, I'm not doing that joke again. Smash another egg in my face? Do I look stupid? It was worse than the first time. It was worse. Oh, this troll's got some moves. It's like a ninja. Trolls! So they throw the troll in the sunlight and turn it to stone. So you discover a brand new species of creature which proves the existence of mythical monsters and you killed it? Good job you didn't discover a fucking unicorn. So they throw the troll in the sunlight and turn it to stone, saving the little girl and concluding the happy ending that we all expected. Wait, hold on a second. The goal of this episode was to save the little kid, and they didn't. So where I thought the twist would be that the mythical creature was really a person dressed up as a mythical creature, the twist was the kid dies? Man, that's a grim twist. I think I like my version better. A lot of people look at the show and its low budget camp horror and say that it's not as good as The Twilight Zone or other shows which have better acting, bigger budgets and less shitty effects. But my response to that is, they don't have chunky teenage Ryan Reynolds, do they?
Sorry, Dad will not change the world.
The episode ends with the closing shot of a kid going to bed in Paris with another stuffed toy with glowing eyes. I guess it's a good job that all that shit's just fiction. Right? Nope.